largely that's with consideration to making the neck playable. So we don't want to use anything too thick, basically, particularly on the back of the neck where our hand rests against it as we play. We don't want too much friction from our hands against the finish. So regardless of what product you use, what I'd recommend is a matte finish on the back of the guitar. So even if you spray a clear gloss, which we're going to do in this instance, I'll then finish that with a fine grade steel wool just to really buff that down to a matte finish. And that means hands won't get caught up or slowed down while we're playing the guitar. We're going to have to definitely mask off our truss rod. We don't want gunk building up in there. And we're going to mask off our tuning holes as well. But for now, we'll give the guitar a sand. So I'd start with a 180 grit. Just a 180 grit, and work our way up from there. Just use your sanding block on the actual headstock itself. It's nice and flat, so we can generally achieve a really nice flat finish there. That's really all I'm doing, is sanding flat with the 180, and then we'll follow up with some 240, some 320, and then some 400 just to remove the scratch marks from the heavier grades of paper that we've used. What I like to do, there are probably more efficient methods of doing this, but just use some tape bunched into a ball, like so. Have the sticky side out, and that way it'll catch. That's why it'll catch anything coming in contact with that area of the guitar, and will also stick within the truss rod hole. Now we really do want to make sure that truss rod cover, of all things, is taken care of, because you get too much finish on the end of the truss rod's not going to function correctly. Otherwise, then we'll do the tuning peg holes as well, and the reason for that is we don't want a lot of finish going down inside those holes, because you'll get a build-up of gunk, which will then make the tuners harder to install. Okay, now we've masked off our TE neck. The next thing we want to do is apply our clear gloss. So I'm using this Rust-Oleum clear gloss. It's a water-based gloss, so very fast drying. I'll aim to get about 3 coats on that today. So shake up the can and long pass it across the headstock first. And then, because the headstock sits down recessed in that way, we can simply turn it over and spray the rest. Okay, just coming up to my third and final coat for the day. Just want to point out a couple of things. So I'm only applying about 3 coats to this, and I'm going to gently sand back the heel, but if you're applying many thick coats, as you can see, that heel will have a lot of finish on it, and that can affect your action. So if you are planning on spraying many coats on the back of your neck, for instance, just make sure you fit the neck into the guitar itself, and just using a pencil or something similar, make a mark as to where the guitar extends out from the pocket, and mask off that area that's going to sit in the pocket. So I've got the T